Hi everybody, this is Noelle for Petitti Garden Centers, and it is late summer in Northeast Ohio and it's hot. And we get a lot of questions from customers about the best way to water their landscapes, their yards, their gardens. And so I'm going to talk about that today, and also a few products that I think will help you out in the long run, to really save you some time out in the garden, but also to save some water on your water bill too. So we've got a couple things that probably will work really well for you. The first thing is when you water, it's really best to water in the morning. It is the absolute best time. If you wait until later in the day, and even evening and night, what happens is water tends to stay on the plant material or around the plant material, and that can cause a lot of disease issues. So watering in the morning enables plants or lawns to uptake that water, and they have the entire day to absorb the water that you're supplying them. So number one is definitely morning watering. That's always going to be the best. If you can't get to watering until later in the day, you just gotta do it. But morning's always really good. Number two is when you water, try to water as deeply and thoroughly as possible. Okay, so we often talk about 1 inch of water per week, especially during drought periods. You might have to add a little bit more, but usually 1 inch of water is the magic number. So you can watch the weather. You can put a rain gauge in your garden just to see if you are getting 1 inch of water during 7 days of warm summer weather, okay? When plants are just planted and you're getting them established, they might require more water, okay? But normally during drought times, midsummer, hot times, definitely want to achieve that inch of water. Once plants do get established and they're in the landscape, there are many plants that are very drought tolerant. I'm just gonna throw like the juniper family out there. So once they get established and it's a really dry season, they usually do just fine. They can tolerate drought very well. So again, some plants can tolerate it more than others, and you'll be able to see that in your landscape as well. A couple other things that we like to talk about is we like to put water right at the base of the plant. It's always better to supply water to the root system than do overhead watering with a sprinkler, or even if you take your hose out, you don't necessarily want to soak the plant. You want to get under the plant and soak the root system of the plant so that water can go right straight to the roots where it needs it. So do try to do that as well. The other thing that I should mention is there's lots of implements to water out there, to irrigate out there. And one of our favorites is the Draam watering wand. It's obviously a long handled wand. It does have that bent head. So when you do hook it up to the hose and you need to reach up, it's watering in, or if you need to reach down, again, it's watering towards the base of the plant. So this is really nice, real lightweight, heavy duty, but always a really great thing, handy thing to have out in the garden. If you're watering pots and containers, it's a little bit different. You don't really look for the 1 inch of water per week. You are actually watering, turning on the water, thoroughly moistening the soil that's in that container, watching for the water to come out the bottom, and then you wait until that stops, and then you go ahead and you repeat. The more soil you have in the container, or the larger the container, the more water it's going to hold. So it always depends on your container size, the soil that's there as well, in order to kind of judge how often you're going to have to water that container. What we really like is we have a product called Hydretain, and you see the granular here and the liquid here. What's neat about this product is it will reduce your watering maintenance about 50%. These are non-toxic products that you can use them anywhere in the garden. You can use it on the lawn, you can use it in containers, you can use it in landscape beds. What's really interesting about it is with this development, with this chemistry, they have like water magnets. So it pulls moisture out of the air, turns it into water droplets that your plant material can use. So this might be a really good item, especially if you're continually watering. That will really help. Another thing that I have on my lap here is a soaker hose, okay? These are awesome tools to use out in the garden for watering. Again, putting the water at the base of the plant material, whether it's in a vegetable garden, whether it's in a rose bed, whether it's in the landscape, you can put them right at the base of your plant material and it will deliver water in a very slow, usable manner that is thorough and will water very deeply. And that is really, really healthy for your plant material as well. The other thing that I have, and we're going to show you in a little bit, is hooking up a sprinkler, whether you want to go overhead sprinkler, okay, whether you want to do soaker hose. What you do is you take just a container, this is Chinese takeout container, and you measure 1 inch depth, okay? And you put this out where your sprinkler is sprinkling. And what happens is once it fills up, you time it. So once it fills up to the 1 inch depth, you know how long to run your soaker hose and or your sprinkler. And then you'll know how much or how long it will take to get 1 inch of water through that area that you're watering. So watering tips again, morning watering is always best. Thorough, deep watering is very, very healthy for the plants. I forgot to mention that again, your roots will follow that water down. So as you deeply water, they will continue to move down in the soil. That's a really good thing because it's cooler, deeper in the soil. If you water very short periods of time, very shallowly, what's going to happen is that your roots will stay real close to the ground and your plants will dry out a lot faster. So you might see that wilting occur more often. Another thing that I don't have here that we should mention is mulch. So 2 inches of mulch, no more than that for the summer. That will help retain that moisture in the soil for you when it rains or when you irrigate. The other thing is don't pile mulch up against the base of your plant. Make sure you give it some space around the crown so you have a space to put your water in and put your fertilizer around that plant as well, okay? So take a look, we'll show you how to do this.